Ode to Billy Joe. That's Bobby Gentry on WDXB with Chickamauga Charlie this afternoon.
WDXB.
26 minutes before 5 o'clock. That's what time it is at 4:34 this afternoon, 4:34. I took a breathalyzer test during that record, and we'll have the results of that test, as they say on Dragnet, we'll have the results of that test in a moment.
A pound of margarine for just RCA.
Okay, it is now 24 before 5. It's 4:36 on WDXB, and here is the results of the test, the breathalyzer test we just took a moment ago after 4 complete shots of bourbon. 0.028 is where I am. 0.028. The legal limit on alcohol in the bloodstream is 0.10%, which seems like a mountain from where I am right now. And they say that, I understand that as I drink, the amount of alcohol that I have consumed has really nothing to do with the reading in my bloodstream. Is that right? That has to do with the time that it takes to assimilate what I have in my bloodstream. In the studio with us this afternoon is Sergeant Ronnie Hawk of the Chattanooga Police Department, who's here on his own time, not the city's. Chief Jerry Pitts, who's all of his time is the city's. And Dr. Leonard Carroll, who all of his time is this patient's. He's a surgeon at Erlanger and one of the doctors that was involved in the founding of the methadone clinic here in Chattanooga, which was with the heroin problem that we have in this town, which is unbelievable. If I can't run a radio program, how can you drive an automobile? The whole purpose of this is that more than 1.3 million people have died on the nation's highways since the turn of the century. That's twice as many as have been killed, as American soldiers have been killed in all the wars that we have fought in since that time. Twice as many have died on the highways. And half of those that have died on the highways have died as a result of a driver intoxicated by alcohol. This weekend, between 530 and 630 people will die. The death toll count begins at 6 p.m., which is approximately 1 hour and 22 minutes from now. Between 530 and 630 people will die this weekend, half of them caused by drinking drivers. I am not going to drive home tonight. Someone's going to drive me home. Or else I'm just going to lay down on the floor here in the control room and go to sleep. So you don't have to worry about me being out on the highways. I hope you take note of what we're doing this afternoon. Pay close attention. I'm starting to get a little bit tipsy, and it's beginning to become very difficult to not only think, but to do what I'm doing.
How about a test? Are you ready for a test now?
A test? What kind of a test?
A tongue twister? Do you have your tongue twister there?
Oh, I can do the tongue twister.
You wrote it down someplace.
No problem with the tongue twister. The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock.
Beautiful.
Isn't that pretty good?
Do it again.
The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock. Huh? Do I pass that test?
Unbelievable.
Got another one? What's that one you were doing in the back of the control room a little while ago?
Do you want to stand up and do that one? That's a visual test. Bring the doctor over here. You want to explain what we're gonna do here?
We just did a little test to sort of determine some coordination. I just tried it with Mike, and he did real well. Now I'll try it with Chicky. It consists of him touching with the forefinger of his right hand, first his nose, and then my forefinger as I move it around.
Okay,
We'll see how he
I have
does.
to find my forefinger. All right.
Right, you did real well on that part.
I found it.
Now first touch your nose and then my forefinger. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to move my finger and make it
Don't do
difficult.
that. Don't move it.
Go. Keep back and
All right.
forth. If you could see him, you could tell how he has
Faster.
to hunt for my finger. And there is a marked difference as compared to Mike and Chicky.
Hey, that's unbelievable. You know that's an interesting test because I'd be aiming my finger for where your finger was.
Imagine if you were aiming a car.
Yeah.
We'll do that test again in about 15 minutes, and it's about time for you to take another drink right now.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, stop the record. We got to take another drink.
Careful, don't spill it.
Oh, I wouldn't spill it.
Putting the top on the trigger.
Oh. Yeah, a little. something to wash this down with. Here's me and Julio.
Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and she ran to the police station. When the Papa found out
Alcohol is a depressant, and you can really tell. You don't want to think, you don't want to carry out functions that you normally do without thinking. And it's gotten to the point now till it's becoming quite obvious standing here watching you.
Especially during the records. It's a shame.
Could also mention that there is a lag, and although the breathalyzer shows a certain level, you actually have the alcohol still some in your stomach and still in your intestines that haven't.
In other words, what I've drunk has not come through the analyzer yet.
Not yet, but it's going to.
And we were talking about alcoholism as a... Wait a minute, Doctor. One of the things that I think we ought to get across here, and that is that people that drink use it as a crutch in their life. Is that right?
I think most people do that, whether they actually realize it or not. I think probably most people would say, you know, I started out as a social drinker. Mm-hmm. But I think actually, as with drug addiction, most people are trying to escape reality.
Especially the problem drinker. Especially the person that has to have alcohol every day.
Right.
We were discussing during that record that a number of one of the professions that seems to have a number of people who use alcohol. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this, but I think we might as well.
Sure.
Are doctors and physicians. There are a number of physicians and doctors who become alcoholics because of the problems that they have to face. They have to live with their patients' problems. When they lose a patient dies, it's an emotional experience that, although doctors try not to show it, that certainly does affect them, and they turn to alcohol as one means of escape, or at least during their free time.
I think you find a lot of professional people who need to put up a good front and can't let their emotions be seen do turn to drugs, including alcohol.
Okay. Anything else, Mike, that you want to...
How about if we have you stand up right now?
I don't know if I can.
Oh, yes, you can. Stand up.
Right.
You want to go through the test again? All right.
Same test?
Yeah.
You want to go to that microphone?
Bring the microphone. Come on over here. Come on over here. Once again, you want to explain exactly what you're going to do and what this test will show.
Again, we'll test his coordination by having him touch first his nose with his forefinger and then my forefinger, and last time I would have given him, say, 75%. We'll see how he does this time.
I did pretty good last time.
Which is another point. You're thinking what you do and what you do are two different things.
Okay. You moved.
You missed it by about 8 inches.
Fast. Come on. Hit it. Fast.
You missed again.
He consistently missed. I would grade him about 45 on that try.
Well, I mean, you moved your finger. 7 minutes after 5 o'clock.
You missed the button.
Serve you in Chattanooga, Dayton, and Cleveland.
One of the reasons in fact, the reason that we're doing this, it's very difficult for me to, it's getting tougher. Hey, Michael. Mike, are you ready to take over? Michael.
I'm not going to take over yet.
Okay.
You're showing a lack of responsibility. You don't want to do your program.
I'm showing a very...
You want to take another quick test here?
Ability to talk. No, let's do the test after the next record.
Okay, go with the tongue twister first. Then we'll do the test later. Do you have it?
The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock.
Not bad. You're doing real well.
The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock. The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock.
The rascal's getting a little slow.
All right, the ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock.
Play another record. We've got another test planned for your balance.
Don't
to
you
test
think
your
we ought to-
coordination and balance.
If somebody just joined us, they're going to think that I'm really drunk on the air. And
Which you are.
They're not going to know why I'm drunk, so maybe...
I think we ought to explain exactly
we
what's
ought
going
to
on.
explain somehow, let people know the reason that we're doing all this.
Okay, search for a record and I'll explain what we're doing. And get a record prepared.
I want to explain what we're doing. We're doing this for a very serious reason. We're not doing it as as a big gimmick or anything. It's a gimmick to the degree that we want you to take note of it, but this weekend is the Memorial Day weekend. And on all holiday weekends in this country, a number of people die. This weekend, the Safety Council has already written down the number of people who are going to die. People just like you that are walking around breathing and living and loving and enjoying life. 530 to 630 people are going to die this weekend. The death toll count begins in 50 minutes, and half of those people that will die this weekend and be missed by those that love them will have been killed because of people who drink alcohol and drive an automobile. If I can't run a radio program, which I can't, how can you possibly drive an automobile? And that's what this is all about. We're
keeping track here of every 20 minutes we're giving you a drink, and we gave you one at 4:58 or 2 minutes before 5, and we have a test coming up in about 4 minutes, another breathalyzer test for you.
Okay. This is a record that was popular in 1967, 5 years ago, Aretha Franklin. It's called Respect Among Human Beings. A little respect, and that's Aretha Franklin right there on WDXB this afternoon. At 80 degrees, it's now 13 minutes after 5 o'clock with Chickamauga Charlie, and I am becoming quite drunk. It's 80 degrees. Is it still 80 degrees, John? Wait a minute. John Reed, is it still 80 degrees? Is it still 80 degrees? 81 degrees. It's gone up 1 degree in the last hour. And I've gone up at least that far. 81 degrees right now, 81 in the scenic city.
Pizza, la pizza is a song.
Otter Pontiac, 3150 Broad Street.
Boy, that guy's got a voice, doesn't he? 16 minutes after 5 o'clock, it's 5:16 this afternoon.
Okay, we have another test planned for you.
Another test.
We'll have the results of a breathalyzer test within a minute, which is being figured right now. But if you want to step over here, Dr. Carroll has another test for you. This is a test that the sergeant uses.
Again, the test is for coordination, and we'll let the sergeant carry out the test. Consists of standing, put your feet together, close together, hold your arms straight out, tilt your head backwards, close your eyes. Now touch your nose with your forefinger, right hand and then the left hand, back and forth. The upper lip, then nose, hand. You're missing each time, but pretty good for now.
You want to give a grade on that? Give a subjective grade?
About another 45 or 50 on
Okay, that's the second test you've hit about 45 or 50% on.
What is it? What do I read now?
0.035.
0.035. And the legal limit on alcohol is 0.10?
That's right.
Man alive, I'll tell you what, if anybody else was out on the road feeling like I feel right now, and only 0.03, seems to me that the legal limit is awful high. Is that right? Is the legal limit pretty high, do you think, Sergeant?
It would be for you and I.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it's awful high. 0.10. I doubt if I could ever get that high. 0.10. I'd probably go to sleep.
Let us bring this out. All of us here in the control room are noticing you. Your eyes are beginning to dilate and you're unsteady. Yet this hasn't come out on the breathalyzer yet. And we might explain that it takes a little longer for it to come through the metabolism of the body, to come out in your breath into the breathalyzer. But now you would consider yourself unfit to drive an automobile.
Well, I'll say, I've considered myself that way for about an hour and a half.
And yet on the breathalyzer that I just ran, it was 0.035. But you are climbing.
I am very definitely climbing. And in about 40 seconds, I'll climb back down again.
See the newest in Green Room. Celebrate the enjoyment of good food 7 days a week.
I'd like to say that the way I feel right now and running my radio program is as if you were watching Joe Namath on television tripping over his white shoelaces. I don't feel like I'm doing a very good job. The whole reason we're doing this is so that you will recognize the fact that a person, while drinking, can hardly drive an automobile. If I can't run a radio show and talk coherently, then you certainly can't drive an automobile while thinking incoherently also.
Okay, it's time for you to take another drink.
Okay.
This will be your 7th drink.
Well, I'll tell you, this bottle is...
In exactly 2 hours.
2 hours.
We started at 3:20.
The bottle is so full, is no longer as full as it was, and it's no longer going blah, 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 when I'm pouring it. What I'd like to know is who's going to sit up with me all night tonight.
You might want to mention again that you are not going to drive home, in case anybody might have some doubts in their mind about your ability to drive now, because you can't drive right now. And somebody will drive you home. After the news, we have another test planned for you. We're going to have a commercial for you to read.
A commercial?
That is a rather difficult one for you to read, and we want you to read it as fast and as well as you can.
Well, I have to say this. Whoever the client is that's paying for that commercial is sure not going to get their money's worth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after the news, we'll have another test, which I'll probably flunk. And right now, it's time for John Reed in the news. John Reed is really a wonderful guy. He really...
At 5:20, it's 81 degrees under warm, sunny skies.
You're really a wonderful guy.
Thank you.
You really are.
Yes, I'm John Reed, WDXB News. At this hour, President Nixon and Soviet leader Reed. And this is WDXB News. Back to Chickamauga Charlie.
You're really a wonderful guy.
Thank you, Chicky. Yes.
You really are, John. You're just a wonderful guy.
So are you. Okay, we have we have a photographer in here, but don't worry about that.
Pictures.
We have an experiment for you. Instead of having you read a live commercial, which you have seen before on occasion,
we seen this live commercial before?
No, rather than that, throw the experiment off, the fact that you had seen it before, and you might be able to do it a little bit easier than normal. I've just ripped a story off the Associated Press wire, a story that has just come over that you couldn't possibly have seen.
It's not anything serious that I would...
No, it's not.
Really?
It's a political story, and we'll let you just read it as well as you can.
A political story. Oh, boy.
And your news voice.
I like political stories.
Okay.
Bring me a political story.
Hold on.
All right. You want me to do it right this minute?
Right this minute. Read it as well as you can. Serious as you can.
Dateline, Washington. An Associated Press check of Republican convention delegates shows that President Nixon already has enough votes to be nominated. Oh. The AP poll puts at least 686 delegates into the Nixon column. 674 will be required for nomination at the August conclave in Miami Beach. That was a tough word, and I got it out. Conclave. The AP poll on the Democratic side shows George McGovern leading with 497 1/2. George Wallace has 323. Hubert Humphrey has 295. Hubert Humphrey and 1/2 has 295 1/2. And Edmund Muskie has 160. A total of 1,509 votes will be required for nomination at the July Democratic Convention, also at Miami Beach.
Not bad. We'll give you about a 70% on that.
I think I did pretty fair on that.
Just a couple of mess-ups there.
It's 27 minutes after 5 o'clock. And here's a record that I think I'd like to play now. I'm going to do a little newscast in a minute. A little newscast from this morning just to see how I do in that one. That ought to be rich. I'll tell you that. Of Matchstick Man. That is Status Quo on WDXB, Chattanooga with Chickamauga Charlie. Notice how I got that live ID right in there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
At 29 minutes before 6.
We're 4 minutes away from another breathalyzer test. You took your last drink right before the news at 20 after. That was your 7th drink.
I might say that I really appreciate Michael Summers taking care of my log for me, because the FCC doesn't allow people to operate a radio station while inebriated. And Michael Summers is doing that for me, and that's awful nice of him.
You still have the tongue twister there in front of you?
The ragged rascal ran around the rugged rock.
Do you know the Peter Piper tongue twister?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Say it again.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Very good.
Now,
if you want to play your commercial.
Slid a sheet I slid. I sat upon a slitted sheet.
A slitted sheet.
But I'm not going to say that one again too fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Play your commercial.
Play my commercial.
This summer, when vacation time rolls around.
The difference on Rossville Boulevard.
Hello. I was in the middle of a sentence. It's 20 to somebody else other than you.
Okay, we're going to do the little news now that you do in the morning.
The little news. Well, first, don't you think we ought to talk about why we're doing all this that we're doing? Now, we're getting a little silly. Now,
why don't you do the little news first, and then we can talk about why we're doing it?
Because what we're doing is really very serious, and
I don't think you're in a very serious mood to do that right now.
At this particular second, you're right. I'm not.
Okay. Prepare to do the little news. And get it out of the way as quickly as possible, okay?
All right, get away from me so I can't see you, so I don't crack up.
Have you have the little news in front of you?
Got it.
Okay.
Time now for the little news. Brought to you today by the East Ridge Police Department. Oh, this was a heavyweight from this morning.
Just read it.
I remember this. Brought to you today by the East Ridge Police Department, fresh from Chicago, with their two-way wrist radios and Crime Stoppers textbooks. It's 5:34 with Chick E. Poo, better known as Chickamauga Mort, with the little news. Chickamauga Charlie to get publicly intoxicated this afternoon with the help of City Chief of Police. There was a misprint here. City Chief of Police Jerry Pitts and a breathalyzer operator to take legal readings. It's for a very serious reason. Listen this afternoon at 3 to WDXB. Baylor boys busted. Civil suit in New York results in shooting spree. 4 minors plead guilty to drug charges yesterday. That brings the count to 34. Dixby sales manager Rome Benedict says a friend of his got a job in a drug store. Increased their business 40%. He just stands out in front and makes people sick. Run inside. We'll fix you up. Busing controversy continues in Memphis. Russia-U.S. talks reportedly have hit a snag. Seems like I know somebody in Chattanooga they call Snag. Artist Ralph McDonald commissioned to draw the state bird, the mockingbird. Previously, he had done Texas's state bird, the ladybird. I remember her. My fellow Americans, I come to you today with a very heavy. Dixby's Olivia Lawrence says she looks like Helen Brown. That's Helen Gurley. Helen Gurley Brown. Very girly woman. Helen Gurley Brown. Of course, she doesn't look too good in green either. Steel workers give support to Humphrey. I guess if stealing's your business, you ought to know what you're talking about. Cleanup operations continue at Billy Hull's house. Installation of new locks and bedroom dams scheduled for today. I didn't mean to say damn on the air. Finally in the news, WDXB Vice President, General Manager, and partner Al Smith. He turned down the chance to become involved in the experiment with alcohol scheduled for this afternoon. Al said, you know me, I can't drink that much. In fact, I get intoxicated quite often on Scotch tape. Al, by the way, hallucinates on Dr. Pepper occasionally. And now, back to Michael Sumner.
Are you ready now to explain why you've done what you've done?
Did I pass the test?
You barely passed the test. You've been drinking since 20 minutes after 3 this afternoon, and you've had 7 drinks.
No. I've been drinking since 10 minutes after 3.
Okay, since 10 minutes after 3. We've got a breathalyzer test waiting for you right now, but first mention exactly what we're doing here and why we're doing it.
It's awful heavy. What we're doing this afternoon is, this weekend, this is the Memorial Day weekend, and right now, people that are walking around, living and breathing, maybe even driving, will die this weekend. 530 to 630 people across the nation will die. Half of those that will be killed because they've been drinking alcohol and driving an automobile, or they've been involved in an accident with some other dummy that's been doing the same thing. The death toll count begins in approximately 22 minutes. Since the turn of the century, 1.3 million people have died on the nation's highways. 648,000 have been killed in all the wars that America has fought. And that's twice as many that have been killed on the highways that have been killed in war. And what we're trying to do this afternoon is make you stop and think for just a minute. If I can't run a radio program, which I obviously can't, then how can you drive an automobile? That's what we're doing.
We have the test right now. You want to blow into your favorite little receptacle there?
I'm going to play the record, and then
go ahead and play the record, and we'll get the results after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chickamauga Charlie's playing the record.
Little darling.
Yay, Richie! That's Richie Havens, the guy with no teeth. And the reading is now. I took a reading during that record.
Okay, you have .04, the reading from that breathalyzer.
Do you know?
Now, the machine is still behind you. You're still ahead of the machine there.
On the machine is, yeah, it's behind me.
No.
The legal limit on alcohol in the bloodstream is 0.1, and I'm at 0.04 right now, and there's absolutely no way that I could drive a car. I mean, there's no way that I could get in an automobile. I couldn't even play a game of Monopoly decent.
We'll run through your tests again in a few minutes, your coordination test and your balance test.
And I'm usually pretty good at playing Monopoly.
Why don't you stand up and do the test now? Why don't you come on over with the doctor?
Test? Which test?
Come on over here. Okay. You want to run through the test once again? We'll do the finger test with the index finger.
Don't do that.
And I'll explain what's going on. Don't push him over.
We'll do a coordination test again by having Chicky stand in front of me, and with his forefinger of his right hand first touch his nose and then touch my forefinger, which is approximately 2 feet in front of his face, but I am moving it constantly. Now, a normal person can do this easily, as we tried on several people just a few minutes ago. And as I said, Chicky did the first time we tried it about 75%, about 45 last time. We'll see how he does now. First your nose with your forefinger, then my finger.
Okay.
Back and forth.
That's one. You hit. You hit. You missed.
30 times I missed.
Keep going. Faster.
Go.
You missed again. Missed again. And you royally missed the last time. What's your subjective?
About 25%.
About 25%
It's really obvious. He knows the motions to make. He can go toward something, but getting there and doing that final minute thing is really difficult.
And his
for him.
reflexes are lagging behind.
You got to understand. You moved your finger, and that would.
But we did all along, and you did well before.
Okay, it's time for another drink.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Didn't I just do that?
No, you just took a breathalyzer test.
Oh my God, I can't do it.
Okay, it's 17 until 6, and it's time to take another drink.
I can't.
Don't spill it. See how carefully you can pour without spilling it, too.
I spilled it last time.
No, the time before that you spilled it, not last time. You didn't spill it.
I remember spilling it.
I know. Careful.
All right. It's dripping down the side.
Drink it. Don't lick it, drink it.
Okay, I'm gonna drink it.
Now play your commercials and take a drink of Coke.
Ooze. Open the mic.
You're caught without a record, aren't you?
Mic is open. No, I got a record.
Oh, okay.
I'm all ready. Aren't you gonna say anything?
No, I'm gonna wait for you to play the record.
You're gonna wait for
and
me
introduce the record. And introduce the name of the man who does the record.
I have to say, first of all, you know, I mean, we're really trying to. The whole reason behind this is that it is very serious, and I hope people are catching on to this, because it's very difficult for me to sit here and maintain an attitude of seriousness for the entire afternoon. Boy, it sure doesn't taste like tomato juice.
WDXB.
14 minutes before 6 o'clock. It is now 5:46 on WDXB, and this is April Wine. April Whiskey. May Whiskey. It could have been a lady, but I wasn't. That's April Wine. It could have been a lady on WDXB this afternoon. It's now 11 minutes before. Hi. Vic Disney's in the other room. Hi, Vic. It's no, it's not either. It's 10 minutes before 6 o'clock. It's 6:50 in the afternoon. Michael Summers mentioned a minute ago that I have not given a weather forecast in 2 hours. And
I think you better give one. And then we have another tongue twister ready for you, too.
Wait a minute.
The new reading, hold it. The new reading is in from the breathalyzer, and it's point... Oh,
the new reading?
650. It's 550.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said it was 650.
What is the new reading?
No new reading.
I'm sorry. The new reading wasn't in. You said it was 650 and it was 550. That's all. We just caught you in a mistake. That's all.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, we do have another tongue twister ready for you. But first, give a weather forecast.
Got to do a weather forecast. Let me push this button.
Friday weather!
Friday weather. This is Friday, and the weather is fair. And okay, I've given the weather.
Give the complete weather forecast.
Fair through Saturday. That's tomorrow. With a high today of 88, which it's not going to get to because it's only 81. Low tonight, 55, and the high tomorrow will be 87. It's 81. I've given the weather.
Very good. Do you have a record that you'd like to play?
I wonder if people are listening.
Yes, lots of them are.
You think so? I hope so. I really hope so. What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Did you have... Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You want me to do a tongue twister?
Yes. Do you know how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Twice again, fast.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Again.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Very good.
Sam Slick sawed 6 slippery sticks. But you got to remember that I'm real good at these things.
Oh.
The average person couldn't do a tongue twister like I could. Sam Slick sawed 6 slippery sticks. Sam Slick sawed 6 slippery sticks.
Very good. Very good. Would you like to take another coordination test?
Sam Slick drank 6 slippery slits.
Would you like to take another coordination test? We have one more test ready for you.
A different test? Let's do a different test later, because it was tough enough for me to do the weather.
Okay.
Have I played the commercials? I haven't played the commercials. Let's play the commercials. Okay?
Go right ahead. It's your program.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the commercials.
If your home is in bud.
305 West 20th Street. Thank you, Chickamauga Charlie. He sure did a good on that. He sure did good on that commercial when he...
We have a guest here.
I have a guest in the studios. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my close friends, very wonderful guy, coach of the FOP softball team for the...
You said it, don't worry.
Fraternal Order of the Police. Ed Townsend is here. He's got police written all over him. He's in his baseball uniform.
That's police.
Police uniform. You're going to play baseball this weekend, aren't you, with Slick Rock, Georgia?
Right.
Who's the... Excuse me. Who are you going to play baseball with this weekend? Jasper?
Whitwell.
Whitwell. He can play a little... Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the police, you can play softball this weekend with Whitwell. How are the guys? Are the guys in good shape for this game?
Very good shape.
Little sports here, folks. We'll log this on the transmitter log as sports. Ed is... Oh, I don't know how to get out of this. Ed is one of my close buddies, and he just stopped in because he felt sorry for me. It's 6 minutes before 6 o'clock. It is now 5:54 this afternoon. My name, unfortunately, is Chickamauga Charlie. Al Smith just walked away with the bottle. I thought I was supposed to go until I passed out. This is Graham Nash. Let's go to Chicago.
Your brother's bound to gag
Oh, the record's all over with.
First thing you want to do is dedicate the next record to Ron Wilson.
You really ought to dedicate the next record to Ron Wilson.
That's what I just said.
That means somewhere out there in the scenic city, our engineer is lurking behind a deep, dark, dank bush, and we need him here in the control room at the studio for some real, absolutely pressing, urgent need.
Okay, is he taking the next breathalyzer?
It's time for it.
Okay, it's time to take another test.
Oh.
One more.
Hey, listen, I'm really getting
Just turn around and take the test.
Do I have to do this?
Yes.
It was your idea, you know. Come on over. Talk.
Okay, we're taking a test right now on the breathalyzer. We have another coordination test planned for you.
Okay, but I'd just like to talk about that for a minute. When you take that test, it's sort of like when you were a kid, you know, and you and your buddy, you know, you'd sit there and you'd say, hey, I bet I can get dizzy before you can get dizzy. And you hold your breath and you blow as hard as you can without exhaling. And, you know, you blow like that, and you blow and you get real dizzy. It's like that with a breathalyzer. It makes you feel drunker.
Okay, come on over here and we got another test for you. Come on.
You are really bored with that, weren't you?
See if you can stand up. Come on, come here. You want to check the dilation of his eyes first of all before we do the test.
In between times I've checked the pupils of his eyes, and they have been slightly dilated, and they have reacted extremely slowly to light, which again is one of the signs you can see. Now we're going to have Chicky stand with his feet together, with his hands outstretched. It's difficult for him just to do this. Turn your head back slightly, close your eyes, now touch your nose, alternating hands. With the tip of your finger, you hit his lip that time.
You hit your lip.
Eyes closed. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Now go sit down in a hurry.
Go sit down.
Run!
Okay, I'm sitting down.
You want to identify the station too while you're at it?
Ladies and gentlemen, this radio station is where I am. You mean the call letters? Oh. WDXB, Chattanooga, Tennessee, broadcasting on a frequency of 1490 kilohertz, which I always thought was dumb when they changed that to kilohertz anyway. I mean, it's really kilowatts. Huh? Who was Mr. Hertz anyway?
Kilocycles, not kilowatts.
Kilocycles.
Right.
Kilowatts is a light bulb.
I don't think people are really interested in that.
Kilocycles. I ran out of log. Is there any more radio station sheets of paper here which I can write on? It's 6 o'clock. Hello there. Johnny Walker on the radio. I don't have
a reading. Hold it. We have a reading coming in off the breathalyzer.
A reading?
055.
055 now.
.0. Where's my pen? .055.
You sound better than J.M. Sanders did when he was sober.
That's because J.M. Sanders is smarter than I am. That means I have to take another drink.
I'll drink to that.
One more drink.
I'll drink to that. I wonder if this sounds bad on the radio.
I think it does. Take another drink. Don't spill it.
It does.
I remember when this bottle was full, it used to go. But now it doesn't.
You're doing real well not spilling it, incidentally.
I spilled a little bit.
Your coordination isn't bad.
It went on my pants.
Well, drink it, or you'll spill some more.
It didn't go on.
Drink it.
Little slurp of coffee. One shot at a time.
Do you know, it's amazing. The first couple of shots are really tough to take, but after that, it's really easy.
WDXB.
2 minutes now after 6 o'clock, and I am drunk. As I saw the light. We're right in the middle of a conversation, and I just don't.
Okay, we've got about 6 different things going here at one time.
I'd like to say
lining up your commercials and everything. Why don't you mention?
I'd like to say
quickly why we're doing what we're doing.
That's awful heavy. I don't know if I could get into that.
I think you can.
we're doing what we're doing because a lot of people die on the roads. And this is sad that people kill themselves from drinking alcohol, which is something that we're not necessarily editorializing for or against, but when it's mixed with driving, there are people you love, you know, like your wife and your kids and your mother and your friends. Those people you wouldn't really want to take your automobile and pile into them at 70 miles an hour. And there are other people that you don't even know that you probably wouldn't want to pile into at 70 miles an hour. Not only because you're selfish and you don't want your own body cut up by grinding steel, but you don't want theirs either because they're human beings and you're concerned about them too. Although maybe not as much as you are about yourself. This weekend, 530 to 630 people will die on the weekend on the roads of our country. As a matter of fact, the death toll began 6 minutes ago, and if I'm not mistaken, about 4 people have already been killed. Is that right?
On the basis of past weekends, past holiday weekends.
3 to 4 people have already died across our nation just in 6 minutes ago. The death toll count begins at 6 p.m., and it's now 6 minutes after 6, which means that some people have already died, and half of those people that have been killed because of drunk, because of some guy like myself sitting behind the wheel of an automobile. The difference is that I can't hurt anybody. And if I was behind the wheel of an automobile, I probably would. Or the chances are great that I could. The whole idea of this program is to show you that if I can't run a radio program, which I obviously can't, you can't drive an automobile. So if you drink, which you have a perfect right to do, don't drive.
Okay, your last reading was .055. Let's talk with the doctor just for a second here about things that we've been observing since 10 minutes after 3 when you started this afternoon. How have you noticed the afternoon progressing as far as his ability to perform and so forth?
It's been quite obvious in the last hour to hour and a half that he has not been able to function as he normally would.
I have lost
It's also been obvious that the drunkometer or the breathalyzer has been real slow in following his progress. It's beginning to pick up now, as indicated in the last 20 minutes. The difference between .04 and .055, it's beginning to catch up with him now. But for the last hour to hour and a half, he has really been drunk.
Where's Johnny Walker?
Now, let's mention here that if he stopped drinking right now, if he took no more, and we continue to take tests every 20 minutes or so for the next hour, it would continue to climb.
I think he would continue to climb to at least the level where in the state of Tennessee he would be drunk. Yes.
Okay. What are you talking about over there?
I need to do a Radioshack commercial.
Go right ahead. It's your program.
It says right here on this log, which is like a ship's log in the ocean. We do the same thing here in radio. And it says right here, Radioshack Live, which means I have to do it. And I don't have any
You would consider yourself live, then?
I would consider myself sitting here.
Okay.
We're
getting the information on Radioshack for you so that you can do a commercial. Are you ready?
I still have a semblance of responsibility left.
Okay. Now do a good job.
Are you kidding me? From this, I have to do a Radioshack commercial. From this, I have to do a Radioshack commercial. A 50-page book.
Do the best job you can.
Hello there, gang. This is Chickamauga Charlie, talking to you about the Radioshack. Not just one, but all 4. Yes, now 4 Radioshacks. If you have ever needed electronic equipment, which you probably will find no need for after listening to my program for about the next 30 minutes or so. Where are my laugh tracks? I gotta do this right. Where's He Laughs? I can't find it.
We can't take a minute out for you to look for the...
If you've ever needed electronic equipment...
That's not funny.
Be it AM/FM... Well, that doesn't matter. Be it AM/FM radio, phonograph, 8-track tape player, cassette player, or for you electronic whizzes, the parts to build your own equipment, then you already know about the Radio Shack.
The manager of one of the Radio Shacks is on the phone.
The manager of the Radio Shack's on the phone?
Do you remember how to put him on the air?
No.
Hello?
Hello, Chicky.
Who's this?
This is Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you?
Well, I am.
You're drunk.
Have you been listening?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Has it been pretty bad?
Oh, yeah. Your voice has gone from high to low.
Why don't you do a Radioshack commercial for me and save me the agony?
Why don't I do a commercial?
Yeah, you do the commercial, you save me the agony.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were going to do it from the catalog, weren't you?
Well, I really hadn't really thought about it.
Okay. You want to know what we've got running?
No.
Huh?
No. But that's all right. Go ahead.
I'll let you do it since it's your commercial.
No, you do it. Go ahead.
No, I'll let you. It's yours.
Now listen, I'll tell you what. I'll listen and you do.
You'll listen.
Yeah, I'll listen to you do it.
All right. What do you want to know?
Well, what do you want to talk about?
All right. Let's see. We've got a Memorial Day special coming up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay. You've got an AM/FM portable radio. No, I'll take that back.
No,
It's
you've
AM.
got the AM/FM radio portable. I don't have one.
All right. I got an AM portable radio.
Okay.
Which is called the Jet Set.
Yes.
It's going to be running 649. And we've got some meters running, which are normally anywhere from $10 to $20.
That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. On sale for $5.88.
Woo, that's not very much money.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay.
And let's see, we've got some LP albums. They're $1.49 regularly, 99 cents now.
99 cents.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about all, because when you're running into the small stuff, and I know you don't have time.
Okay, Lisa, listen, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Where do you work again?
I'm on Brainerd Road, 3987.
That's a Radio Shack.
Right.
Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
You're really great. Say hello to everybody at the Radio Shack for me.
You're talking to everybody.
I am talking to everybody. Hello, everybody.
You've got a whole audience here.
I'll bet you I do, too. Bye.
Bye.
See if this sounds like I'm hanging up. Okay. Wait a minute. Stop the record. Wait a minute. Hold on a second here. Gotta make this tight.
WDXB.
Hey, that was pretty good. That's Honky Tonk Women right there, Honky Tonk Women. And it is now 15 minutes after 6 o'clock. 15 after 6 o'clock. 6:15 is what the time is, according to the big old clock on the wall, thanks to the Naval Observatory. Reminds me of a joke, which I won't go into. No, I might as well. Can I tell a joke? I'll tell a joke. Got to put my laugh in the machine first, though. I hope I can remember this joke. Spiro Agnew, he wanted to know what time it was, so he called the Army. He said, "Army, this is Spiro Agnew. What time is it?" He said, "Gee whiz, we don't know. You're going to have to call the Navy." So Spiro hung up and he called the Navy. He said, "Navy?" He said, "What time is it?" And they said, "Gee, we don't know. But I'll tell you what, we got a branch of the Navy that would tell you what time it is." So he says, "Call the Naval Observatory." So he called the Naval Observatory and he said, "Hello, Naval Observatory. This is Spiro Agnew and I'm your vice president. And I'd like to know what time it is." He says, "Well, in London, it's 10 minutes after 6. In Washington, it's 10 minutes after 10. And if you're vice president, the little hand is on the 10 and the big hand is on the 10.